Hey guys, today we are going to be ranking all the logos in Major League Soccer in 2021 on a tier list. Now, how I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to be looking at all the logos that we can see here and grouping them into tiers based off of how nice of a logo I think they are, how good of a logo I think they are, how unique and successful of a way to brand a team I think they are. So, without further ado, we're going to start things right off with the Columbus Crew. Now, the Crew have a new logo this year that is not as good as their old logo. Future editing me is going to put the old logo up here, and the old Columbus Crew logo, not the old Columbus Crew logo, the one they used at the beginning of the season, was fantastic. That was an all-timer. If I was ranking that logo, I'd probably put it on S tier. It was one of those logos that looks like it could have been made in any time period. It looks like it could last 100 years. The new Columbus Crew logo, which I have here, does not look like that. It looks like a very modern football logo, a very modern North Americanized football logo. Kind of looks like it's going for a CPL type of thing, which isn't really good. And honestly, after what they had, the fact that they dropped it and went with this, that's not good at all. So the Columbus Crew logo, this new logo, probably normally would be E tier, but given that they dropped a all-time MLS logo to pick this one up, I'm putting it down in the F tier. Next off, we have Atlanta United. Now, the Atlanta United logo, it actually is very good. You got the team stripes behind the big, bold A in the center of the circle. Yes, it is a circular logo, which can be dangerous. It can get easy and old real fast, but the Atlanta United logo looks very clean, looks quite timeless, looks like it can stand for a long time, which is something that a lot of other new MLS expansion teams from the past 5 years can't say. I like the Atlanta United logo. I'm putting it in A tier. DC United. DC United has a pretty distinct logo. You have the nice little eagle with the red stripes and then the DC United's wording up at the top. It's a solid logo, a little unique, not overtly modern. It's a solid one all around. I'm putting it B tier. The Vancouver Whitecaps. This logo, it's something. Honestly, it's unique, but it's not standout unique. It's not really timeless in my opinion. It looks like it was considered modern like 10 years ago. Overall, it's okay. It's not great. It's not terrible. I'm putting it in the C tier. Portland Timbers. One of the few logos in MLS with no wording on it. It is honestly a classic look for this team. It's the logo they've run their entire time in Major League Soccer, and it just works. It's not standout, it's not flashy, but overall it generally works. I'm putting it in B tier. If it was a little more pop, it would go in A, but it's a solid B. FC Cincinnati, another solid logo, nothing terrible, but nothing to write home about. It's a good logo, good contrast to the team colors. I like the little griffin, I think that is, on the bottom there. Good wording, solid logo, but not overtly amazing. I'm putting it in the C tier. I think they're a little lucky that they have orange. If they didn't have orange, there would be a little bit more problem there. The orange helps it pop a little. The Seattle Sounders. This, honestly, Seattle is one of the better teams in MLS year in, year out, and thankfully they have one of the better logos, in my opinion. Great usage of the needle for Seattle, their tower there. Nice city landmark that everyone can recognize as Seattle. Great usage of the team colors in the logo. I like the green in the background and a little blue. This is a very good MLS logo. I'm putting it in A tier. Philadelphia Union. Another circle logo, but an older circle logo. They've had this logo around for their whole run in MLS. It's solid. However, it's, again, nothing too poppy. It's just good, but not great. I'm putting it in C tier. And speaking of good but not great, New York City FC. Owned by City Soccer Group, the same group that owns Manchester City. New York City FC is another logo that's pretty decent, but again, nothing really great. It's just a logo that you look at and you say, yes, that is a soccer logo. I'm putting it in C tier. And I'm saying logos and not crests throughout this video because, well, technically, yes, they are crests. It's MLS. They're logos for the most part. It kind of bounces out. It's so weird the way North America does soccer. Orlando City, another one of the newer teams. It's very simple, just the purple badge with the lion on the front and the Orlando City wording on the bottom. But it is something different. The purple is unique in Major League Soccer. The lion, well, there's a couple other logos like FC Dallas or Minnesota that have animals on them. The front-facing lion is nice and unique. Honestly, I like the Orlando City logo. I'm putting this B tier. FC Dallas. Now, speaking of animal logos, this is not a great animal logo in my opinion. The bull is good, holds up the wording, but just this logo, I don't know, it seems kind of bland in my opinion, very just there. It's not absolutely terrible, but it just doesn't have the sort of appeal and the sort of staying power in your mind that I think the C tier logos have, so I'm putting it in D tier. Inter Miami. This is a fantastic logo. The pink, which is so rare in world football, and they pull it off very well, the pink and black contrast. The wording in Spanish, Club Internacional de Football, another unique thing in Major League Soccer. You're not going pure English. Good there. Honestly, I love the little flamingos. I love the pink accents. This might be my favorite logo in Major League Soccer right now. I'm putting it in S tier. It's really good, honestly. New York Red Bulls. Now, owned by Red Bull, of course. The New York Red Bulls are in the unfortunate situation where their team crest is a global drink logo and shows it. Well, now they're in Red Bull New York, actually, to fit with their Red Bull Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg teams. And the crests for all those teams are basically the same, just with the name of the city changed at the bottom. Just the lack of uniqueness and the corporate, we're going to name every team in every country the same thing and have them all have the same logo. And it's not even that great of a logo. I'm putting this in the E tier. LAFC. Simple. It follows the modern path, kind of, but also it's simple enough that it could be quite timeless. LAFC, the gold and black works very, very well. I quite like this logo. In terms of modern MLS logos, this one has turned out quite well. I'm putting it up in the A tier. Them and Atlanta both did very well with being new teams and not going overtly hard on the modern looking logos. Colorado Rapids. This one is kind of bland in my opinion. The crest shape is a little different. You got the little mountains with a soccer ball in front, but now there's a mountain. They're called the Rapids. There's nothing there that really indicates rapids in my opinion. The color scheme, I've never really liked the Rapids color scheme. I don't really like that maroonish red. I'm not a big fan. I'm putting the Rapids in the E tier. I just don't really like their logo that much. Personal preference. Chicago Fire. Well, we already know that this logo isn't sticking. It's going to be gone and replaced for next season for good reason. They replaced a very, very good crest with their previous iteration, which I'm going to put up right now. And that was a good one. That one would have been up in B tier, honestly. This crest, it just the middle is just a copy of the Vancouver Whitecaps crown type fire thing. I don't even know. It's so bland. It doesn't stand out at all, and what they threw away to replace it with this, it's so disappointing. This is going down in F. Houston Dynamo, a recent rebrand, new crest, new logo for this team, and it went full in on the modernization look, and I think failed because of that. It's not very good in my opinion. It looks very, very modern. Like, you can date it immediately to now just by looking at it. And it's very CPL-like in my mind because of that. And, well, nothing against some of the CPL logos, but like some of them look like they're going to be outdated in like 5 years. And this is one of those logos that kind of looks like that. In 5 years, it's going to look already outdated because it just automatically looks like something that's just made for right now, right this time period, and it's not going to have any real staying power. I'm putting this in F tier as well. I really do not like this Dynamo logo. Now, Nashville SC is the modern, simplistic logo done not right, but not terribly. It's solid all around. It's not great, but it's not as big of a failure in the modern take as Columbus, Chicago, or Houston. It's solid in that sense. I'm gonna put it in D. It's not great, but it's much better than the other three in the F tier that are kind of going for the same sort of thing that it went for. Minnesota United. This is an actually fantastic logo at MLS too, in my opinion. The light blue stripe amongst the silver with the big black loon in the front. The team is the Loons, and there's the loon right front and center. The star up top. It's clean, yet also memorable. It stands out. It's unique, it's different, and it's clean. To accomplish both of those things is very, very difficult. I'm going to put this up in the S tier. I quite like it. Austin FC. They almost fell for the modernization problem. The lettering on Austin in the top of the crest almost falls for that, but then the nice little tree actually works quite well. It flows together. The color choice for the tree, that nice bright green, works quite well in my opinion. For a new expansion side, brand new into MLS, it's a solid crest. I rate it B tier. San Jose Earthquakes, or as their logo calls them, just the Quakes. Again, always an issue when you try forcing a soccer ball into the logo, honestly. Colorado didn't work out too well for them. San Jose, it doesn't work out that well either. And just kind of the blue, like, for a team that's going to be named something specific, like that's not just a United or a city, you kind of have to have something there, like Portland, the Timbers, the Axe, Vancouver Whitecaps, it's different. San Jose Earthquakes, it looks like they could just be San Jose FC based on their logo. I guess they have a little bit of their offset because it's like an earthquake, but it doesn't look very outstanding in my opinion. It's kind of bland, doesn't really stand out in your mind. Like, I could not remember what the San Jose Earthquakes logo was before looking it up for this video, so it's not very memorable. I'm putting it in the E tier. Club de Foot Montreal, the rebrand of the Montreal Impact. And the Montreal Impact, their logo was nothing to write home about. It was probably a C/D tier. But they replaced it with the anus snowflake. It looks like a butthole. It looks like a cat's butthole. I know it's supposed to be a snowflake, but it does not look like that. It literally looks like the community E plurius anus butthole flag. It's going in the F. You notice something about the F tier, huh? If you look in it. Rebrand, 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 rebrand. Not a very successful past 2-3 years for MLS rebrands. Sporting Kansas City. This was an old rebrand. Many years ago, they rebranded from the Kansas City Wizards to Sporting Kansas City, and the logo stuck around for a while since then. Again, solid, not incredibly memorable, but it's solid, it's there. Little SC for Sporting and City. It works. I'm putting it in the C tier. Again, nothing to write home about, but like nothing off with it. Toronto FC, my team, since they joined MLS in 2007, have had the same logo all the way through. No thoughts really of changing it, and for good reason. It works. It's a crest in MLS that's not immediately dated. Now, of course, it doesn't look like it could have been 40 plus years old, but it looks like a crest that's been around for a while. And it looks like a crest that can stay for a significant time in the future. It works now, and it worked when it came out, it works now, and it will continue to work. It just is solid all the way through. I'm putting it up in A tier. Real Salt Lake, one of the more forgettable teams in MLS, have, honestly, as a logo, something that looks a bit dated right now. And I know I've been praising teams for having older logos, but there's a difference between timeless logos and dated logos. And the Real Salt Lake logo looks kind of dated. The soccer ball at the bottom, it looks like something that from the 90s or the early 2000s that needs an update to something that can be more timeless. And like also the SL, it's hard to see those red letters behind the gold and the blue. I'm not a huge fan. I'm going to put it down in D tier. A little bit up on E just because of how long it's been around, but overall, it's not that great. LA Galaxy, probably the most famous MLS crest worldwide due to the high quality of players who have worn it for the LA Galaxy. David Beckham, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Robbie Keane, Landon Donovan. A lot of quality players throughout the years have worn that specific LA Galaxy logo. And it's solid. It's a crest that kind of for many, many years has been synonymous with Major League Soccer. And it's still pretty synonymous with Major League Soccer. Maybe it's starting to look a little dated, but it still works. I'm putting it up in B tier. And finally, the New England Revolution. The last of the original crests, of the original logos from the first ever Major League Soccer season. They're the only original MLS club that has yet to change their logo. And there are rumors that there might be a new one coming next season, but hopefully not, because honestly, they haven't changed it yet for good reason. It still works. It's incredibly unique. Flashbacks to the 1994 US World Cup logo. It works, honestly. It really does work. It's a fantastic take on the American flag with the soccer ball in the top left corner as the stars, the stripes and the wave pattern, the fade on them. It's honestly fantastic. Like one of the better logos in MLS. This is going up in A tier. I think that it is very good. It's very unique, and I think there is always a place for it in Major League Soccer. Hopefully they do not change it. It just is something special in this league, and hopefully it sticks around. So there you have my Major League Soccer logos tier list. Probably, as you noticed, rebrands, especially recent rebrands, do not do well, and teams that have kept their logo the same through all their time in the league do quite a bit better, because usually if you get it right the first time, you stick with it. And a big issue, again, with the teams at the bottom is they had something that was right and got rid of it. So that does it for my rankings. Let me know if you think if I very underrated some of these logos. Let me know if you think I overrated some of these logos. And let me know what your favorite MLS crest or logo is down below in the comments. As always, if you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more of my stuff, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Link is down below in the description. And I will see you next time.